Shawnee.
I'm Matt, and welcome back to the channel. We are currently traveling, getting a little vacation in for my dad's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Dad, tomorrow. And we're here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Just wanted to check in and give you a little update on our reading that we've been doing. We haven't talked about that in a while.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, so currently I'm reading The Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I love the ACOTAR series, and I keep hearing people say that this one's better. And we were trying to buddy read it, but Matt was like, I cannot deal with the main character.
Spoiler alert, that's one of my updates. I was also reading Throne of Glass. I got about 40 pages into it, and I DNF'd it. I dropped it. I'm reading something else now. So
please tell us if you've read this. The main character is annoying, like so cocky. Is she supposed to be? Is there going to be character development out of that? I'm like, I don't know. Just let me know. Like, I hope, like, there has to be. People love this. There's no way that people love, like, her arrogance this much.
If that's how Selena is for 7 books, there's no way in heaven or hell that I'm finishing that series.
No, she has to come out of this book because people love this series. And I can't imagine people loving, like, this character's so arrogant. It's amazing. I love it. Anyways, that's what I'm currently reading right now.
So for me, I recently finished Red Rising, and I cannot wait to read the second one. I just currently don't own it, and I'm not quite ready to check it out from the library yet because I have other things that I own that I want to read. So I will be reading the rest of that series soon, the first trilogy at least. And then instead of Throne of Glass, I am now reading Fourth Wing. Shawnee's read this year.
Yeah.
And she gave it 5 stars.
I did.
Loved it with some caveats.
So I told Matt, like, everybody's heard of this book at this point, right? Like, everybody knows what Fourth Wing is. It blew up. Like, you couldn't even find it in the stores because it was sold out everywhere because they didn't anticipate this. But I told Matt, I said, is this the best book ever? No. I gave 5 stars, though, but is it super entertaining and fun and I loved it anyways? Yes.
So yeah, that's what we're doing now. I haven't started Fourth Wing at this moment. It's in my backpack. I have the audiobook on Libby, and it's ready for me to start, and I've got 2 weeks, I guess, with the audiobook. Yeah. But anyways, I'll start that at some point this weekend while we're traveling. Speaking of traveling, along the way, we got some clips and didn't really talk about it yet. We made a halfway pit stop in Abilene, found a coffee shop because we needed it, first of all. Yeah. We were struggling and we were only halfway there. We found a coffee shop, got some coffee, and then found a cute little bookstore that was around the corner. Yeah. Got to get some, we bought a couple of books.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab this.
So at this bookstore, if I'm being honest, I kind of compromised. I didn't see anything that I had to have. It wasn't anything crazy, but we did end up getting 2 books in total. And the first one, it was for me, and I got The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. So Shawnee recently read this through the library, and she said that it is so weird, but weird. You can't stop reading. And honestly, I am so excited to figure out what is so weird about it.
And then I got this book. This is Emma by Jane Austen. I don't have all of her books. I used to have a bind up, like the Barnes & Noble big editions of the books that they sell. They're fancy looking. Lent it to my sister 5 years ago, so as far as I know, it's her copy now. But I wanted individual copies of them anyways, but there's so many of her books, so many editions, I just didn't know what editions I wanted.
There really are a lot of it.
And so I had never fallen in love with any of the editions. And I saw these and I had never seen these before, and I was like, I think these are the editions that I want. They're so cute. They're just kind of squatty, and I love these covers. They're all different patterns on the front. And I noticed that they're UK copies, which is probably why I haven't seen them here. But anyways, so I'm so excited to collect these. But my first one is Emma by Jane Austen, because the only book of hers that I've read so far is Pride and Prejudice. We're not surprised.
And so the agenda for today is we're going to go get coffee. We're going to, we'll hang out at the coffee shop for a little bit. Yeah. And then, so Shawnee is actually from this region. She knows of a bookstore that's kind of close to,
where we're meeting his parents.
Yeah, it's kind of close to where we're going to meet my parents.
It's a used bookstore. It has used books and used records, and it's in an old opera house.
So hopefully we'll be able to make some time for that.
Yeah.
And then once we do meet up with my parents, I think, is it today or tomorrow that we're going to go to Half Price
Today.
Books? And then today we're going to go to Half Price Books with my parents. So I'm looking forward to that. Anytime I come to DFW, I know I have to go to a Half Price Books, or as many as I can, because we don't have anywhere we live. All right, we're gonna go get some coffee and some more books.
Bye.
See you later. right, well, today is Tuesday, the 22nd of August, and we are home, and vacation is officially over. And so we have shed many a tear, having to go back to our normal lives and not living it up in the big city anymore. However, we owe you a final book haul. It's funny that only a couple videos ago, even though it was still a few months ago, one of our most recent videos is saying we need a book buying ban.
And I'm pretty sure the only new books that we've gotten since then are continuations to a manga I'm reading, which I feel like was a part of the rules if it's a continuation to a series, and books that your dad's given us.
Until now.
Whoopsie daisy.
Vacation makes book lovers do crazy things.
Yeah.
So let's take a little trip down memory lane over this weekend and talk about all 19 books that we walked away with. So first, we'll just go through the vacation day by day.
Come on, vacation.
Hour by hour. I know that we took some videos and stuff, but the main chunk of the video is probably going to be this. Because we stopped in Abilene. We decided to stop for coffee around the corner from the coffee shop that we stopped at, which the coffee shop was great. It's called Majestic in Abilene, Texas. And if you're ever in Abilene for whatever reason, give it a shot. I highly recommend it. And then around the corner is a bookshop called, what was it called? 7 in 1.
Thank you, Google Maps, for highlighting businesses when you're looking for businesses on the maps, because I never would have known that or thought to look for a bookstore while we were there.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's just around the corner. Can we go?
I guess I'll talk about the book that I got because Shawnee's already read it, and it is Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. And it should be a quick, easy one, so nice to pad the yearly goal stats. So yeah, looking forward to this one. This is the first book that I got on our trip.
So because we hadn't been buying books, but we were in a local bookstore, supporting local bookstores is just something that we enjoy because they can have a hard time staying in business sometimes, or, we just want to support local. But we're kind of on the book buying ban, and we hadn't bought books in a while. So we were like, oh, I don't know. There's not a book that I really necessarily need right now, was our mindset. And I was like, well, let's both get a book to support them. And I think that's where things started spiraling for the weekend. But so Matt got that one, and I picked up Emma by Jane Austen.
These editions are beautiful.
Yeah.
But what sucks is they're UK, and they're hard to find here in the States. You could always order them online, but now that Book Depository is shut down.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. If you know any UK booksellers online, please drop them in the comments because we would love to get UK covers.
I wasn't sure what editions of the Jane Austen books that I wanted to get for the individual copies. There's so many beautiful copies of these books, but I had never seen this one until we were in the Abilene bookstore. And whenever I saw them, I was like, yes, these are kind of cute and squatty, and for some reason I just like them. And the covers are so pretty. They're all just varied shade and decoration of these watercolors, and I just really like them. So pretty.
It is very pretty. We have 17 more books to go through, so let's see if we can speed it up. So we went when we finally got to the DFW area. We stayed the night in Fort Worth, but then in the morning we went to Denton. So Shawnee actually went to college at University of North Texas, which is in Denton. And so she's familiar with the area, and she wanted to take me to this place called Recycled Books. It's in the town square, built around the courthouse. Mm-hmm. It was a really cute area. I don't know if we got any clips of the area, but I loved it. It was great. It was a great vibe. So it's an old opera house that is now a used book and record store, which is pretty awesome. Walking around it was kind of sketchy because I thought the floorboards were going to fall from under me. But anyways, the book that I picked up from Recycled Books is The Mist of Avalon. And the story as to why I got this is kind of funny. So I looked through all the fantasy and the fiction, and I feel like the selection there's a ton of books, just nothing really of merit or nothing that I really have interest in or haven't read before.
Right.
So I've heard of this. It's kind of I think it's a classic fantasy book about the women in King Arthur's Tale, I believe is what it's about.
Yeah, something like that.
But anyways, the reason that I bought this or bought a book at all from that store is on the door there's a sign that says bathroom for customer use only, and we were in there and I really had to go, and so I felt bad using their bathroom and not buying anything. So after looking through the entire store, eventually I was just like, I'll just buy this.
They did have 2 other books that we wanted to get. They were signed, leather-bound, selective copies of The Way of Kings in I guess the UK, because it was volume 1 and volume 2.
No, it was, well, I guess it wasn't UK, but it was just the leather-bound edition of Way of Kings is released in 2 parts.
Signed first edition, leather-bound, $500 though, so we had to leave them behind.
Yeah, sadly.
Unless somebody wants to donate $500 to us, and we'll drive to Denton right now.
We were on vacation, and we could have gone a little crazier than what we did, but we decided better not.
To keep our sanity for whenever we got home and wouldn't cry while holding our books.
Yeah, because what would we do? Like, we don't have like a glass case for books. Anyways, so then we went to another store in the square. I think it was called like More Fun.
I honestly don't remember what it was. It was like a comics and games store.
They sell comics, board games, trading card games like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Lorcana, which just came out. I'm still interested in that. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Tabletop stuff like
but there's also...
I was saying like tabletop stuff for D&D.
There's also a lot of manga. And there's one manga volume, or there's a manga. I'll let you talk about it. I'm not reading this manga. I'll let her take it.
I've been looking for this at our local Barnes & Noble and local bookstores, like used bookstores, for like a month now since I finished the previous one. This is volume 4, and nobody's getting it in stock. I wasn't sure if everybody else in Lubbock is reading this at the same speed as me, and I can't find a copy of it. So anyways, it's just kind of like a reward once I finish one, and then when I'm ready to pick up the next one, I can go get the next. But so I was very excited. Matt immediately found this for me, and I knew we were buying something in the store that day.
And then I got a bunch of Magic the Gathering packs. It's an addiction. It's okay. Admitting you have a problem is the first step to recovery. So later on Saturday, when we met up with my parents, we went to... This was on Saturday, right?
Yes.
No, Friday. This was on Friday.
This is all on Friday, yes.
This was on Friday. Sorry.
And
Denton was on Friday. We met my parents at a Buc-ee's after all of
the square
stuff. And then, which was my first time to be at a Buc-ee's, which is funny because I lived in Texas my entire life and never been in a Buc-ee's. Finally, 26 years later, we got it done. So after we went to Buc-ee's, we went to Half Price Books. That was kind of close to the hotel we were staying at because we were a little bit on a time crunch because me and my dad and one of his buddies had to make it to a Texas Rangers game. At Half Price Books, we got a couple board games, but we don't care about those. And I picked up Ender's Game because I don't own this. Shawnee read it from the library. I don't own this, but I own one of the sequels to it. Because my friend that gave me all the copies of Wheel of Time that we have also threw that in because he just needed to get rid of books. And I didn't realize that it wasn't the first one.
Yeah.
So I needed to get this one first before I read the other one. So that's the only reason I got this one. We've talked about kind of her thoughts on Ender's Game, but not too much because she didn't want to spoil anything because I think that she thinks that I'm really going to like it.
I think that he will enjoy it. I don't think it's going to be like all-time favorite 5 stars, but I think that you'll have a good time with it.
And then, also from Half Price Books, we got this beautiful paperback edition that actually is a good cover because it doesn't have a face on it.
Yeah.
Of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
We've been waiting for the paperback copy of this book to come out because it's his dad's favorite, one of his favorites. And then they came out with the paperback copy, and we don't like faces necessarily on books.
Not whenever they're like the focus of the book cover.
It can
like
be
the U.S. editions of like Robin Hobb, seeing Fitz on the cover, like that drives me insane.
It can be done artistically sometimes, and I don't mind it. Like, well, I'll show you later. There's another book that we got. But it can be done artistically sometimes, and I don't mind it. But I didn't like the paperback copy in the U.S. of the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Maybe I'll find it and I'll throw it on the screen.
And I don't even know where this one came from, why it's different. But when we saw it's in good condition, paperback, doesn't have the face behind the words. I mean, why wouldn't we, right?
Yeah. My dad really loved it. We got it for him for his birthday, I think, last year.
We did.
Or the year before.
Yeah, it was last year.
And he loved it so much that he named one of his puppies after it.
2 years ago, because the dogs are almost 2.
That makes sense. The math does math.
And then I was looking through, I love in Half Price Books looking through a lot of the older books, like the collector styles books, even though most of the time I can't afford what's in there. But I like to see what copies they have, what's fun. They had like a signed edition of New Moon. That was a first edition. Didn't want that. But in the YA section, the one that wasn't cased in, where you didn't have to ask somebody to come unlock it, I found this, which I've really been wanting. This is the self-published edition of the
Atlas 6.
The Atlas 6. I almost said the Six of Crows. Of the Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. And of course, like, all of her stuff is being traditionally published now. And I think all of her other books, I like the traditionally published covers more, but this one I really like this cover more than the traditionally published one, and so I was really sad. I was like, I'm never gonna get this one.
I do like that cover
because it's just not, I just haven't seen it anywhere. I mean, I haven't really looked for resale online, but I didn't think that I'd want to pay for as much as people were selling it for online, but we found this at pretty cheap, actually, like the standard book selling price. So anyways, I love Olivia Blake's writing. From the one book that I read from her. It was a 5 stars.
I'll let you read it and I'll decide if I want to read it. Because looking at it, doing the thing you're not supposed to do, and judging by its cover, I want to read this.
I think that the saying, don't judge a book by its cover, came from people telling people not to judge each other. But I think a lot of times you can't judge books by their covers.
Ooh. Dreamy. So then I went to a Rangers game with my dad and left Shawnee and my mom and my sister and my dad's friend's wife to have girl time.
So me and his mom and his sister, we went to dinner. His sister went swimming, and I was just going to hang out in the hotel room and read. And Matt was texting me. He's like, no, go somewhere. Go to another bookstore with mom. And so his dad wanted a book for his birthday anyway, so we picked him up a Lisa Joel book, a new one.
None of this is true?
Yeah.
All of these are lies?
Lisa Joel's new book.
People be lying.
Anyways, we got his dad that book for his birthday, gave it to him the next day. But I was like, well, if I'm here, I have to get us a book as well.
Absolutely.
And so I've seen a lot of people recommend this. I think Books and Mama really liked this one this year. And then I think last year, maybe it was this year, Allison Pages really liked it as well. It's 2 childhood friends come back together in adulthood. One of them needs a job. And she's like, well, you can nanny for my step twin boys. Or is it a boy and a girl? It just says twin stepkids. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But they will spontaneously combust if they get too agitated. So what? Interesting.
That's pretty trippy. I want to read that.
Yeah. And then such a fun cover too anyways.
Okay, so then we had a little bit of time to kill the next day. This was on Saturday.
Early afternoon before the pool party.
Yeah, so we got coffee, hung out at a coffee shop for a little bit.
His dad ran a half
marathon.
marathon.
Read a book. My dad ran a half marathon and shattered his goal time. So way to go, Dad. And then had breakfast with them. And then after breakfast, we had a few hours to kill before we had his birthday party plans in the afternoon. So in that time, we went to a local mall somewhere in the DFW area. I think it was Stonebriar.
Frisco Mall.
Yeah, the mall in Frisco. And we had been looking for a cookbook, a certain cookbook by a certain celebrity chef, I don't know. She has gained popularity online via Bon Appetit and her own channel and postings and stuff. When we discovered her, we saw this cookbook all the time in Target. Recently, when we finally decided we're going to get it, we can't find it in Target. It's never in Target. And for some reason, we never thought to look in Barnes & Noble here.
But now it's also not in Barnes & Noble. We looked in our other used bookstores, nowhere. And I kept telling Matt, jokingly, I was like, they recalled the cookbook. It doesn't exist anymore. They can't put it on the shelves. Because it does. But anyways. We found it.
So we found it. Cook This Book by Molly Baz. I'm not a big cook as of now. But when I cook, I kind of have a little bit of fulfillment. My heart grows a little bit, like the Grinch. Shawnee cooks more than I do for the family, but I have verbalized and said out loud that I want to get better at cooking and I want to learn more recipes and I want to have fun with it. But I don't know. I struggle with cooking because it takes forever to prepare a meal, and then when I sit down to eat it, I finish it in less than 10 minutes. And so I feel like all that work was for very little reward. But now, when we cook together, I have a lot of fun with the actual cooking process and that experience in itself. We bought a cookbook. we bought a cookbook, and so shout out to Molly. We love your videos, we love your content, and we hope to love your recipes.
I'm sure.
Okay, so
then
the next day after the pool party, the day after the pool party, my parents ended up driving home. That was their plan. They were leaving that day, and we we decided we wanted to do some more things in the area before we headed back home.
So we met a friend for breakfast and then went to see my grandmother, who lives just on the other side of the Metroplex. So since we were already that close, we've driven that far, we went to go see her and spend some time with her.
I forgot that's why we had a time crunch.
And so she will be 97 in September. So go Nanny.
Heck yeah, go Nanny.
Yeah.
So then after visiting Nanny, we came back to the Dallas area and wanted to visit one of our favorite local bookstores in Dallas that we discovered last year.
Last year.
Called Interrobang. Interrobang. Whoops. Interrobang Books in Dallas. The books that we picked up are, let me distribute them to their respective readers.
This is where we went off the deep end.
Yeah, we kind of went crazy. We
Like
just love this place so much. The people there are so wholesome.
They're so nice.
They're
Every
so
time
nice.
we go, they're so helpful.
And it's every single one of them. It's not even just like the owner or the manager. Every single one of them are so nice and genuinely want to help you find the books that you want to read.
Yeah.
And they're all full of suggestions and like recommendations and so much book knowledge. I love that place.
Please go there if you
want to live in Interrobang Books. But anyways, the two books that I got from Interrobang are the paperback cover of The Ballad of Perilous Graves. So I had heard about this when it was, I think it hadn't been released yet when people started talking about it. I think it was Elliot Brooks who I first heard talk about it. And so I told Shawnee, that's interesting. I want to read it, but I'm going to wait for the paperback because I love paperbacks way more than hardbacks.
True.
And it wasn't a book that I thought that I needed so much so that I would get the hardback. Because like we own some hardbacks, but that's because like we need to read those books. So I believe this is a book about like music is a magic system.
In New Orleans.
Yeah. And I know like the music culture that New Orleans was built on. I love music itself. And I'm really interested to see how this world comes together. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah. I'm curious
sadly, I've got too many books in the way on my TBR. And then the other one that I picked up is The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. Butler is a name that I've been hearing a lot over the last, I guess, ever since I've been back into reading. And this is kind of like the one that people talk about the most, I think. I don't know what it's about, but I hear it a lot. So I want to figure out why people talk about it.
So at an Interrobang, I picked up Crooked Kingdom, which is the last book in the Grishaverse, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to look into it. But that's the sequel to Six of Crows, which is next up for her Grishaverse read through.
Yes. And so I think that this is kind of like a prequel duology to the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which I finished. And I have been waiting to buy this until I read Six of Crows, which is on my more immediate TBR to be read.
Like next.
Yeah, this month or the next month. So I went ahead and then instead of waiting until I finished Six of Crows to buy this, got it at Interrobang so I could support local instead of getting it at Barnes & Noble here. And then I am more than halfway through A Throne of Glass, so I picked up the sequel to that, which is Crown of Midnight. I restarted Throne of Glass 3 times. This is my 3rd time getting into it. We were going to try to buddy read it. This is our 3rd time buddy reading through it, and Matt said, go on without me.
Yeah, you keep going, and if I need to read it and power through it, let me know, but I can't do it. So as of now, Throne of Glass for me is a DNF, but Shawnee's going to power through and let me know if I should as well.
At about 40%, I was really getting into the character. The first third of the book, she was just so annoying. So I really hope that I enjoy these a lot more. The covers are so pretty. The new covers are so pretty.
They really are. I'm kind of upset that I didn't like it because I want those books on our shelves.
Well, hopefully I like them so we can continue buying them.
Okay.
Let's hope this is a good one. And then I got hooked. Who is the author of this one? A.C. Wise. I don't know anything about A.C. Wise, but I've picked this one up several times in a variety of bookstores. I really love Peter Pan and Peter Pan retellings. I know I don't expect them to always be the best, but I do always enjoy them. This is one of my childhood favorites, I guess. So I'm really excited to read this. I don't expect it to be a 5-star read, but I do expect it to be like a 4-star enjoyment read.
And so then we finally came home. Those were on Sunday, and then we came home Sunday evening. And Monday, we still had the day off of work, and we were going to do a staycation here in town and work on the next
alphabet date
the
letters.
next alphabet date, which we haven't talked about. We're going through the alphabet A to Z, doing theme dates because Shawnee saw that as a trend on Instagram or TikTok or something. And so for A, we went to Alamo Draft House, and so yesterday, Monday, was B. And so we did board games, we did burgers, we did beers, we did books, and then more board games.
Yeah.
And so for the books portion, we went to Barnes & Noble because I was still in vacation mode. I wanted to go spend some money on some books. And so we did.
And a new rule, go to the bookstore and then go get drinks. Don't go get drinks and then go to the bookstore because influence, right?
You want to talk about those? Shawnee got more books than I did, and I'm sad.
The first one that we picked up when we walked in, this was in the front. It's a new T. Kingfisher book, Thorn Edge, and it's kind of like a cumulative fairy tale reimagining novella in 100 pages.
So is it kind of like Wicked? No, not Wicked. What am I thinking of?
Wicked's kind of like
the
a
TV show, Once Upon a Time.
Ooh, maybe
it's like retelling of all the fairy tale characters.
Maybe, but in 100 pages. I'm so interested to see how, because I read a novella earlier this year by Fonda Lee and loved it, which I love the Green Book Saga by Fonda Lee.
Oh,
but I haven't read T. Kingfisher.
Which we have another that I'm going to read during spooky season.
Yeah,
What Moves the Dead. And because of What Moves the Dead, that's the book that like put Kingfisher on my radar, and I want to read some more.
Yeah, we'll see what this is about.
So another short one that I might mooch off of Shawnee to pad the stats.
Well, we share books. We share bookshelf. And then this one I was pretty sure I knew I wanted to buy when we walked into Barnes & Noble the other day. This is the sequel to Daughter of Smoke and Bone. This is
Daughter of Smoke and Bone is that other one. This is just Smoke and Bone.
This is just Smoke and Bone.
So, first one, second one.
Yes. We actually bought a new set of Dice Throne yesterday for a date, and we were playing that, and I was playing the Seraph, and he was playing the Vampire Lord, and that made me want to read the sequel. I wasn't sure if I wanted to read it, and then yesterday I decided that I did. So I got it, and I'm happy. And then I decided I wanted a book for spooky season. I'm a scaredy baby, but I saw this on the shelf, Pet Sematary by Stephen King, which Matt has read, but we don't own a copy. I think you had a mass market paperback edition of it.
No, I only listened to it.
Okay. So
I never had a physical copy.
We needed a copy of it anyways, and I asked him if this was too spooky, too scary for me. He said, I don't think so.
I'm currently looking and confirming that we don't have.
So I'll read this for the fall and see if I cry.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I think the narrator did a great job. I think you should read it and listen to it at night with all the lights off and home alone.
I think listening to it will be too immersive for me and I'll get too scared.
Well, if you get scared, just throw the book in the freezer. And to wrap it up, the two books that I got from Barnes & Noble were first, Final Girls by Riley Sager. Sager is another name that's been put on my radar recently from one booktuber that we follow. Her name is Haley Pham. And I mean, she's not the only one that talks about
Allison Pages really likes her too. She says that they're not 5-star reads, but they're 5-star entertainment.
Is Riley Sager female?
No, it's a guy, but I always think that it's a girl. Everybody says he, but I can't get past thinking Riley Sager is a woman. I'm sorry, Riley Sager. So
Riley Sager is a mystery thriller author that has gained some traction over the years. And he's pretty dang popular, but thriller is not really my genre, unless like you can classify some Stephen King's as thrillers. I digress. So Sager is hopefully someone who can be like a gateway into mysteries and thrillers, because I want to read them because they look interesting. But the last mystery thriller book that I read was a James Patterson, Along Came a Spider. And I guessed the plot twist halfway through, and I was right with the plot twist. And there were a crap ton of typos, and it was just a grind to get through. I think that might be one of my lowest rated books that I've actually finished on Goodreads. I feel like I am too harsh and too lenient on books, because if I don't like a book, I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to finish a book and then give it 1 star. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to DNF it, drop it, not rate it, take it off my shelf. But then if I like a book, it's probably not getting less than 3 stars.
Right.
And so maybe I should spread out my rating for books that I do finish. All that to say, I don't read a lot of mysteries and thrillers. I'm hoping that Riley Sager will change my mind.
I think that you need to go into mysteries and thrillers not expecting to try to be smarter than the book and like, I figured it out, so this book sucks.
But as a man, I thrive on solving it.
Gosh.
Like, I have to have the answer.
The patriarchy.
I hoped you sensed the sarcasm in my voice when I said that. I'm not actually like a alpha male.
Not.
I don't, whatever. The last book of this haul, of this vacation spending spree nonsense mayhem is the sequel to a book that I've read recently. Golden Sun is the second book in the first Red Rising trilogy, and I cannot get to this book fast enough. The only reason I haven't started it yet is because I currently have Fourth Wing checked out from the library on audio, and I want to finish that while I have it checked out. So as soon as I finish Fourth Wing, I'll be jumping to this one. And then hopefully, depending on how this one goes, immediately jumping into Morning Star. Because Red Rising was, oh my gosh, amazing. I loved it. As a plot reader, it made my heart so happy because the second half of the book was all gas. There were no breaks. It was so much so that even myself as a plot reader who really needs action and like doesn't like downtime or a lot of character focused writing, even I was like, whoa, I can't catch my breath. We're going too fast. The ending of book one really left me wanting for this book, and so hoping I can power through Fourth Wing and grab this next quickly. And so yeah, 19 books. I would pick them up and stack them for you to see them all in one stack. And yeah, so thanks for going on vacation with us. I hope you picked up some books as well. And if you didn't, what are you doing?
Buy some books on vacation.
Buy some books. Go on vacation.
Unless you're flying, because it's harder to get them back. But if you're driving,
that's
buy
true.
books.
But yeah, that's our book haul for vacation. This is probably good enough to last or to count for the whole summer book haul.
Yeah.
There's more that we bought in the summer, but it's fine. This was our summer book haul. And we hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming along with us. If you've watched this far, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And be sure to hit that bell so that you are notified whenever we upload a video, because I still haven't come up with a concrete upload schedule. Because, frankly, I don't want to, because that's scary. Anyways, if you like the video, give it a like. Let us know what books you've picked up, what books you're planning on reading, what you think about the books that we got, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye!